Caitlin Clark sends strong message on false perception. Created by social media, Caitlin Clark is no stranger to the noise that constantly follows her on social media. Although she was unable to participate in the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game due to a groin injury, Clark was still at the forefront of the event this past weekend in Indianapolis. Clark's star power and the frequent discourse around her, especially on social media, is still ever present even in a year that's been plagued by injuries. For whatever reason, a lot of this discourse involving Clark is often negative in online spheres. Appearing on a live podcast episode of A Touch More with Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe released on July 21st, Clark touched on the disconnect between online criticism and real-life support she feels from fans around the country. "You have to remember, social media is such a false perception of reality," Clark said. "Even for myself, you don't always realize that at times. It's not the real world. When I show up to arenas, those are the moments that really remind me of how many people are really there supporting and loving me. The little boys and the little girls, those aren't the people that are on social media, caring about every decision you make or every comment you make. At the same time, I just try to show up every day and be myself and be authentically me," Clark continued. "Whether that's hard questions or hard moments, whatever it is, I think you kind of just take it as it goes. I always try to remind myself how lucky I am to be here and be in this position too." Clark embodies the idea of playing under a microscope, where everything she says or does becomes a topic of discourse, no matter how minuscule it might seem. It's tough for any player to deal with this type of scrutiny, but Clark seems to have the right idea in terms of recognizing the importance of real-life interactions over what you read on social media. Now Fever fans just need to see Clark back on the court. She is progressing with her groin injury, according to Fever head coach Stephanie White, but isn't expected to play when Indiana returns to action on Tuesday night against the Liberty. Caitlin Clark's injuries have been the talk of the town this regular season. With 4 reported injuries so far in the regular season, the Indiana Fever's star player has already missed a record high number of games this season as a result. As per the latest update by Coach Stephanie White, Clark may be sitting out Tuesday's, July 22nd, game against New York Liberty as well, as the Fever returned to practice on Sunday, July 20th. Coach White addressed questions from reporters, including clarifications on when Clark can be expected to be back in the game. "She's going to see some doctors and get some more tests around early in the week," she said, per Indy Star. "You know, I don't expect her to be available on Tuesday, so we're just going to continue to take it one day at a time and let her get her evaluations early this week. And then once we've done that, hopefully we'll have a clear line of what it looks like." The injury in reference to was incurred by Clark during the July 15th game against the Connecticut Sun. With 30 seconds left in the game, the visible strain on her right groin could be seen on her face after she made a pass to Kelsey Mitchell. Clark has had to miss 11 of the 23 regular games scheduled for the Fever this season. This marks the 4th muscle injury for her, as reported by USA Today. Her most recent injury was preceded by an injury to her left quad while playing against the Liberty, a left groin injury during a game against the Seattle Storm, and an incident related to quad tightness. As a result of her latest strain, she was forced to sit out the WNBA All-Star Game and 3-point contest last week. "When the injury happened, it was pretty frustrating, considering I knew what the coming days were going to hold for myself," she told reporters ahead of the All-Star Game, per Indy Star. "But I feel like dealing with that, and then also just like trying to look at it in the most positive manner that I can. I think just it all comes back to having good perspective on everything." Clark was also missing from Sunday's practice, along with fellow All-Stars Aaliyah Boston and Mitchell. As of now, it's unclear when she will be returning to the court and will most likely be sitting out Tuesday's game.